Good morning, everyone. This is Susan McCullough with DataFacts. Thank you for joining us today. We still have some people logging into the webinar and getting settled, so we'll give them another minute or so to get into the system to be able to see and hear our presentation today. I'll just take this time to go over some housekeeping details. You are in a listen-only mode, so you will not be able to ask questions verbally, but we do welcome all questions, and we are saving some time for some questions at the end. So we encourage you, as you're watching this and listening to this broadcast, to please log some questions in your question box. You can find it at the bottom of your screen, or some people may see it at the side of their screens. So just feel free to log that at any time, and we will address those questions. We are going to be having some polling question, and we would love to gather some information about everyone's opinions and observations that are on the call today. And we will also have a survey at the end that we would appreciate you completing to give us some feedback about our information today. We're set for a great broadcast. It's going to be an interesting presentation with a lot of new information, and it'll last about 30-35 minutes, and then we'll have the question and answer portion. And we are recording this today, so if someone in your office, or if you would like to see it again, we are happy to share the recording with you. Now, DataFacts Senior Vice President of Strategic Solutions, Lisa May, will go ahead and tell you a little bit more. Lisa, take it away.
Thanks, Susan. DataFacts is committed to partnering with great companies that bring real solutions to your hiring and screening needs. Today, we're focusing on our second solution with long-term partner eBiz Solutions. eBiz Solutions has developed a COVID-19 Back to Work app and platform called Safely. Safely will help employers navigate reopening challenges they are facing. As businesses slowly transition back to the new normal, they have to ensure a healthy environment is provided to all the employees. I'd like to introduce you to our good friend, Sridhar Sunkara. Sridhar has been helping businesses understand and implement digital transformation for their companies for over 23 years. This empowers businesses to innovate and build efficient processes, which increases their bottom line and paves the way toward growth. He holds degrees in architecture, city planning, and computer programming. He is certified in design thinking from MIT Sloan School of Management, and he is certified through MIT CSAIL, Artificial Intelligence and Implications for Business Strategy. Wow, that's a mouthful. Welcome, Sridhar. I can't wait to hear what you have in store for us today.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I think this is going to be a great solution for a lot of people that are really worried about how do we really start our businesses back and then get the start economy back to where it was and grow from there. So what I would go over today would be about a mobile platform that we have built that would allow companies, businesses to safely return to work. So my next presentation would be talking about it and showing some of the things that, that this particular solution could do. So as we are slowly transitioning life back to what I call is new normal, companies.
Sridhar, I hate to interrupt you. I'm so sorry, but we are having a couple of people that say they can't hear you. So could you adjust your volume up?
Yeah. Okay. Can you all hear me now?
I think that, yes, I think that's good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Sorry about it. So as we're slowly transitioning back into new normal, companies will have to ensure that their employees feel confident and know that there's a healthy environment being provided to them. So that's very, very important. So as employers, as they're getting ready to reopen the office, they must consider some of the following things. One, They have to make sure that they are doing a daily health and risk screening they have in place. Are they able to ensure employees will keep a safe distance at all time? Do you have a corporate policy ready to answer any COVID-19 related questions? And then make sure that employees are aware of local and government regulations for back to work plan. So at this time, I will I want to give a quick poll. I'm going to launch a poll, and I want to see if you guys can quickly take the poll. Okay, I'm going to give 2 more seconds, and we can close the polls. Okay, I'm going to end the poll now. I'm going to share the results. I think this is a pretty good results we have. I mean, 46% are prepared for new normal, and then like we have 49% in the planning stage, and 4% not sure how to plan. That's good. Thank you for doing this. So, so the employers should be confident that they know that their employees feel confident and know that a healthy environment is been provided. So that's the basis of everything that we have thought through in order to put the solution together. So what Safely Back to Work platform helps is to navigate the reopening challenges. Our mobile-based technology platform, it prioritizes safety of your employees, keeping in mind all the relevant guidelines. How do we do it? So here are the things that this particular platform will help. It's going to help you with daily assessments, consent-based distance tracking, shift management, which is going to come in the next version of it, reports and data analytics, wellness assessments, a unified control center where you can communicate throughout the employees from your back end, and a notification center of receiving all the notifications and sending notifications. And also we have included an incident management system where if people have some kind of a question or they're feeling uncomfortable, they can definitely put in incident management. They can quickly use that. So how does our platform work, right? So we got two things. So employees, visitors, and vendors, they will have a unique URL or QR code to download the app. And then the employer will have an employer admin through the web on the desktop or on laptop that they can manage the whole company's back to safe application. So one of the things we have done is you are not going to App Store or Google Play Store to download. It is a direct access to you and only for your employees and your vendors and your visitors. So it is very safe and secure how you will send the information to them. So and we gave it a very easy way to registration. A lot of companies have an Active Directory, so we'll integrate with your Active Directory so that you don't have to worry about if you have given it to all employees and all the registration. So it will automatically integrate with your employees' Active Directory. For some businesses, if they're not using Active Directory or very small businesses, they can also import the users with a standard CSV format. So we made it so simple so that it's easy to build your user base. So there will be from a user, they will have a custom dashboard that will immediately show them the first thing is it shows them the health. So the first one you can see, it shows like you are safe. Those are based on the questions that you will configure to, and have a weighted question so that it tells like whether they're safe to come into work or not. And then it also has the time and date when they have actually taken that assessment. So you know that it's been done today. So if somebody is coming in today at 8 o'clock to work, they could have done this at 7 o'clock in the morning. So you know that, okay, that's safe, that assessment is valid, and so they can get in. In the similar fashion, they can also see the wellness indicators. So the wellness is more like a mental health kind of questionnaire you can put, so that just make sure that people feel safe and they feel confident to coming in. So those are the two that immediately pops up, and then you can have announcements right there to see if there's a change in guidelines, if there's change in something. You just want to make sure that people know about it. And we also have, like, if you have multiple announcements, so you will see that bell icon, so they can see the notifications, and they can see if their contact tracing, exposure tracing is started, the distance tracing. And then the check-in, check-out is coming. It's a coming feature where you can use the check-in, check-out to make sure that you've been, like if you are leaving work, and you can just check out, so that we don't do the distance tracing anymore. And you will have a good menu on the side that shows you the announcements, the guidelines. So you can click quickly on the guidelines and look at all the guidelines and any notifications, and you can report an incident. And when you click help, based on your company, how they want to create the help, so you can see all the help, where you need to contact, who need to your email, who are the person you need to contact if you need any help. So with the questions, based on the questions, you're doing the health questions, so you can customize what kind of message you want to give, because each question has a weight, and based on the number of points, you can say if they're safe to come in, or if they're at a risk of infection, so you might recommend them to stay home, or they might be at risk, a high risk of infection, so you need to give them a guidelines of what they need to do. So again, the assessments could have things like, if you want to know more about travel, and that travel might have some kind of weighted question, it has a weight, and based on it, you might say, okay, if somebody has traveled before 14 days, you might want to have some kind of results telling them they have to self-quarantine or something. And like I said, like you can have help information. It could be a number, toll-free number, email, or it could be also, we can add name of the person that needs to be contacted. And if the consent-based distance tracing module, it's coming in a couple of weeks after the version 1 launch. So if that is activated, you can see how which person has been in contact at a certain distance. That if you put 6 feet or 7 feet or 2 feet or 3 feet, you can see if you want to look at that person and say who did this person had contact in the last 5 days, 10 days, 14 days. You can adjust that, and you can see where they have contacted within the company. And again, like we said, like the employees can have, like they can hide, and when they leave the work, they can hide, so that's not going to be, now we don't track it anymore. Because what we have seen is for applications like this, if people really don't want to be bothered, they will actually delete the application when they're out. And they will, when they come in, they have to reinstall it. Instead of that, we just gave an easier way so that they don't have to do that every time. Another big thing people are worrying about this kind of applications would be on the data security. So all our data is encrypted with the state-of-art encryption algorithms. And there's a 10-minute refresh of the user temp ID, which is, it continuously changes the user temporary ID so that people cannot hack. So we made it like hack-proof, that people cannot look at somebody's record. And employer has complete control of the data. So each of the employer, whoever manages this, they have control on their data. And we are hosted through completely compliant Amazon Web Services. So it's completely a compliant server. So we make sure that the data is completely protected. So the features, so all of the, every company will have its own white labeled privacy first command center with mobile apps. And the mobile apps will be for employees, staff, partners, visitors, customers. So they will have ability with custom content management, so about mental wellness, self-test, health assessment test, and consent-based distance tracing for employees, visitors, and partners. And there are different roles we give. One is the business admin, office user, which is an employee. The business admin will have control of the whole application. And then you have a vendor visitor related to business. Then you have employees have a mobile app, so there is a sign up. It's a two-step authentication. So we want to protect, make sure that this right person is signed in, and they have a quick view of. So once they sign up, they have to see the guidelines, and they have to accept it before they move further into the app. So you know that people have read the guidelines. And they have a health self-assessment test right there, wellness assessment, incident reporting, like we talked before. And the dashboard will show them the wellness indicator, health self-assessment indicator, notification, any consent-based distance tracking running in the background. If they see there's a green light, that means it's running in the background. And they can also go private and go live button for the consent-based distance tracking. So this would enable the user, when they get out of the office, to hide from the tracking. And the business admin, which is the admin of the whole company, so they will have a complete backend where they can initiate a user invite, and they will have a dashboard of wellness indicator graphs, health assessment reports and alerts, the exposure tracing, which is the consent distance tracing, and they can see the notifications, but also they can manage the notifications from here. And they will have the different, they can see all the users, and they can add a user, they can import users, so they can do multiple things right from the dashboard, from their backend. You can see again, they have the content management so that they can manage the mental wellness questionnaires, when each question would have a weight. So based on that, you can take an action. Right, so if it reaches 10 points, then you might want to say something. So it would have actions based on the points. And same thing with the health self-test questionnaire and a standard COVID back to work guidelines that they can recommend, and they can keep updating it based on. Now we see the guidelines keep changing at state level, at local government level, at federal level. So whatever guidelines you want to follow, you can follow them, and you can make adjustments and changes based on as everything is evolving. And like I said, it's very, very easy. So you can integrate with your Active Directory or import your user data. And also you can do a wellness indicator reminder schedule. So once in a while you can nudge, like if you want to say it's every 4 days or every week, you want to make sure that people are feeling safe, that you can send a reminder for people to take that assessment. And from a visitor perspective, so you will have visitors can scan QR code. If you can have a QR code and to download, and they can install the app. They are in, and then the business premises, so they can do it, and then the admin will let them register, and they can enter that information from the back end, and they will let them register, and they will log in with their ID and set their password, and they will have the two-factor authentication again, just to make sure that they're the right person who they said they are. And they have a dashboard. Their dashboard would be very minimal, so they'll just have their self assessment of the health assessment, and then automatic contact, which is the distance contact tracing, ready for them, so that if something happens, you would immediately, you know that who are the visitors or vendors that have been in contact, so that you can notify them. So basically, that is our overall app. All the features that it does. So I mean, like my presentation is pretty much to the end. It went faster than what I thought, but I can. I have one more poll so that we can do a poll, and then I can answer any questions you all have. Give 5 more seconds, and I'll close the polls. All right. That's a good indication of where we are. So I think like a lot of people are confident if they have new normal guidelines to be followed. And then 35% are skeptical going back to work, and 11% they're just fine going back to work as is. That's great. Thank you for sharing this. Susan, you can take it from here.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we have some questions here that you as the audience have asked. And if you haven't asked a question and you have one, please don't hesitate. Just type it in the question and answer section and we'll take care of it. So we'll start off, Sridhar, with the question, where is this information stored?
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. So all the information is stored in Amazon Web Services. So that's stored within a encrypted database. So it's only for whichever employer that manages. So they'll only have access to that particular their data.
Great. Okay, so the next question is, we are a manufacturing company and for safety reasons do not allow the use of mobile phones during work time. The app sounds like a good pre-workday tool. Are there any other ideas about how to conduct contact tracing while at work?
I mean, right now, our solution, I mean, like from the health perspective, you can come till the work and it can show that you are healthy to walk in, but contact tracing without an app, right now in the phase one, we haven't done anything that without the app that you can do, but that could be another way, yeah, that could be done, that where you can, like we have like the Bluetooth badges or something. So with that, we can allow that also, but that's going to be totally a custom solution for a company like that.
Great. Okay. And another question. How long does it take for a person to go through the pre-workday health and wellness assessments? Do we believe this time will be considered work time?
That's a great question. So the health question and wellness assessment doesn't need to be like doesn't, you can do it anytime, right? But the health is very important because you want to make sure that the person feels safe and healthy to come in. So that, and then the number of questions can depend on how you want to track it, right? So they could be just 5 questions that would let you know that this person is safe to come into the office, or it's better off that they stay home and work, or they need to go for a medical attention. They need medical attention. So it's all depends on how many questions and how you want to do it.
Great. Okay. And we're having some great questions. Thank you, audience. Great engagement. The next one, Sridhar, is how long does it take to onboard this system? How quickly could my company implement this?
Yeah, the onboarding, once we have the content, right? Because it's going to be a white label with your information, with your content. So generally it takes about a couple of weeks to implement and to implement the whole solution.
Great. And the next question is, what does it cost? And are you doing any testing for COVID?
Yeah, first I'll answer the testing for COVID. We don't do the testing, so we are not in testing side. We are more on the software and the technology implementation side. I know, like DataFax, I think you have somebody else to do the testing too, right? But from a costing perspective, costing depends on the number of employees. And based on it, we have a staging costing. And if you are more interested in that, one of our representative can give you costing based on your employees.
Great. Okay. And how is this purchased? Is it licensed by the number of employees?
Yes, this is a subscription model. So again, like it is going to be based on number of employees. It would be a subscription that we are signing a contract with.
Okay. The next question says, this seems heavily dependent on the employees completing this regularly. I would assume there is a report that would show you who is using the app and who is not, correct?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. And that's the beauty of this app is the business admin will have complete control of the reporting. So they can see the reporting and they can have, like, if somebody has to come today, right? So they can see all the employees and you will not even let them in if that person has not completed it. So you can see if everybody is following the compliance. And it is also very useful for companies because it has a reporting system for them to make sure that everybody is following the compliance. And if something happens, you have a reporting of how everybody has reported and why they came in and what made you let them in. Or if there's any incident or anything, everything is tracked and everything is kept in there.
Great. And the next question I can actually answer. Someone's asking for a copy of the recording. And for those of you who missed it in the beginning, we are recording this webinar and we will be sharing the recording with you. If you want to watch it or if you want to share it with someone else in your company, feel free to. That will be in the next day or so. Sridhar, actually, when will that recording be ready to share?
We will have the recording ready tomorrow.
Perfect. Okay. The next question is, are you taking temperatures?
Yeah, like I said, our app doesn't take temperature, but you have it. If you have a temperature within your premise that you are taking temperature, that could be one of the questions that people need to answer, and that needs to be entered into the system, into the assessment.
Okay, and then someone else wants to know, is this app available in multiple languages?
Yeah, unfortunately, this time it is only available in English.
Okay, just a few more questions. Can an employee's spouse complete the assessment for the employee?
So if they have a login to the app, they can. So yeah, if anybody that's why we are connecting with the Active Directory, and also it is that employee will have access. They only have access, just like if you are going to work and whatever access you give to your work computer, it's a similar way to access into this. You need to have that kind of security.
Great. And then will you share the slides of this presentation?
Definitely. Yeah, I will put that in a PDF and I will send it.
Perfect. All right. Well, Sridhar, thank you so much for showing us this and for explaining this. I know I learned a lot. Actually, we have one more question, and then we'll go. Sridhar, could this integrate with our security key fob, allowing entrance for employee only if they have taken an assessment?
Right now, we have not integrated that, but it depends upon the company that you're working with the key swab. So if they let us in, we can have an API that can be written and triggers immediately for the only people that have got the green signal to go into the company.
Okay. All right. Well, again, we are going to have a survey at the end of this broadcast, so please give us your feedback. And thank you so much for joining us today. And we appreciate it, and we will be in touch. And if you do want the copy of the presentation, we will have a recording. We'll be sending that out in a day or so. And we appreciate it. And any questions, just direct them over. We would love to talk to you further about this. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Goodbye.